Today's the day. Gonna make pizza. Now it's important that I tell you this now because we're gonna make the pizza sauce and pizza dough today, but eat it tomorrow. Now I eat pizza as often as I can. It's one of my absolute favorite things to eat. This is kind of the basic dough recipe and sauce recipe I tend to like. I mix it up a lot, but this is kind of a place to start at. So let's start to put it together.
We're gonna start with about a cup of just tap water. Doesn't need to be warm, just kind of room temperature. And then about a tablespoon and a half of honey. And we're just gonna mix that. Now we're gonna do 3 cups of all-purpose flour. This will be the only time I measure in the entirety of this video. Now a fair-sized grip of salt and another 2 teaspoons of active dry yeast. And we're just gonna start to stir that together with a fork. Make sure you have a fairly large bowl for this. Now we bring our honey water. That sugar is gonna help the yeast react and create as many bubbles as possible. Now you can do this in a stand mixer if you have one. I tend to just do it this way, and by tend I mean I don't have a stand mixer. So I just agitate it around, turns into kind of a slurry or paste until it starts to pull away from the bowl. We just work it. We're not kneading it or anything like that. We do want it, but we don't need it. Just until it's tacky to the touch and it pulls away from the sides of the bowl. Then we're gonna cover it with saran wrap and set it aside for about a day, 18, 20 hours, something like that. Now I'm starting with bacon in the pan. I'm gonna start to render that at about medium heat. Now this is the important bit. I get some dried Italian herbs, whatever mixture you like. I like herbes de Provence is my favorite. And then I have some fresh thyme leaves. You can use basil or rosemary. But the whole plum tomatoes, San Marzano, and a nice quality tomato paste are where your money should go. It makes such a big difference. Now after the bacon has rendered and becomes crispy, we pull that out of the pan. And I'm adding actually a frozen sausage here, but you can use any meat you want. I'm gonna add some water and just steam it so it cooks all the way through, so it's soft enough to start to chop. And I will brown that chopped sausage with the chopped bacon. Now here is some garlic paste. They didn't have garlic at the store because of quarantine. Chili flake for some spice, and then the chopped thyme leaves go right in, and we just let that cook real quick, heat it all up. Now we've got our can of tomatoes, the whole tomatoes. Now this is fun. You can have your whole family help with this, but get them in your hands and just smash them up, liquid and everything. Just smash them right into the pan. And then a good 2 or 3 tablespoons of tomato paste is going to add a lot of richness and bring this all together. We still have this on about medium heat when we add our dried Italian herbs, a couple of cranks of cracked black pepper, a nice dusting of salt over the top. We're just gonna let this sit and cook a little bit while we do dishes. So that red sauce is just coming together after it's heated through. We're gonna pull it off the stove and store it. Now, the next day, your dough will have poofed quite a bit. So I'm gonna work on some tin foil because I don't have very much counter space, but this also minimizes mess. So I'm gonna scrape out a portion of dough that I'm gonna be using and just get a little bit of flour on it so it's not overly sticky and won't stick to your hands and the tin foil, and just start to shape real quick, but then we're gonna set it aside. Once I get a flat shape, I'll just put it away so it can rest a little bit more. Put the remaining dough in a Ziploc and in the fridge. Now we're gonna put our pizza stone in the oven on the bottom rack. Have your oven go as hot as you are comfortable with. This oven I'm not super confident in, so I only went to about 430 degrees. And when I'm cutting my mozzarella, I just use a knife and cut little wedges, little chunks, rather than grating it. So do whatever you would like with your cheese. Grate it if you want. I just like these irregular slices. Now that my dough has had a chance to rest for about 10 minutes, it'll be a lot more elastic and I can stretch it all the way out to the size pizza that I want. We get our sauce out of the fridge after it's had a day or so to just kind of chill and come together and top our pizza. Get our cheese on there, and I'll dress our pizza topping with some olive oil, a little bit of cracked black pepper, and a nice little sprinkle of salt. Adds a nice little crunch. I love that crunch on top of that cheese. And then into the oven. About 12 minutes. Bring this sucker out. Nice crunchy cheese on top. Lovely crust on the bottom. Super hot, burn your face off. Love stretchy mozzarella.
It's pizza. It's good. Of course you're gonna like it. I love it. Nothing wrong with that.